Well, good morning, guys. Well, as you can tell by the sun, it's a nice, hot, humid morning this morning. We over in the boneyard this morning, and I wanted to get y'all up and let you know I am psyched and pumped that we're getting ready to start on a project that I kind of had a teaser video on 9 months ago when we went to pick this up. So those of you who watch the channel regularly are going to remember that we went to Texas and picked up a 1957 F600. And let me spin the camera around, and this is pretty much what's left of her. We're still gonna rob the license plate, of course, and incorporate that some kind of way. Probably these two blinker lights. The motor, I'm told, is locked up. We're not using that, of course. We're gonna do something with a 7.3 in it. I'm probably gonna rob that park brake handle and see if I can incorporate that into the new build too. Anybody that needs a 57 F600 frame, motor, or transmission, hit me up, because we're not going to be using much of what's in here except for what I already said. So we're kind of excited about this, and I hated to do a teaser, but again, just too pumped to not tell you all about it. But we're finally caught up enough with other stuff to get into this. Man, that 2-speed rear end would be cool to incorporate. But anyhow, so with all that in mind, we're going to be starting our 57 build and doing old truck conversions to the things we do around here. And I hope you guys like it. We're darn sure going to take you along for the ride. So instead of me blathering on about it, let's get on into the video. It's going to be a video series, and it's also not going to probably be totally consecutive. We got other things going on, and I don't want to put off the video, the work happening now, and the videos coming out months later, so that everything can be you know, in back-to-back video form. We're going to try and do as much as we can. There may be some jumping around, but anyhow, here we go. We're going into the 57 project. Y'all enjoy. All right, this is with Frank's computer, my IDM. We got a loose nut holding the steering wheel, and it got his gangster lean going on in case the PD comes. Got his Krylon tent in the back. Shit. All right, you ready? Fire in the hole. Numbers looking all right? Okay, let's see if it'll kind of give me a, let me know when it's climbing up. Let that starter cool a minute. 2300, all right, we ought to be getting close. 11.3 on the battery. All right. All right, well, we good with that. I mean, if you want to ride the clutch while we do it, you can. All right, so we ready to spin? All right, fire in the hole. Okay, I'm gonna bump it again. Want to feel this? All right, we're gonna try it one more time. We're just checking numbers. You ready? Fire in the hole. All right, it's alive. Cool deal. All right, well, I think I got a video clip that we're gonna show y'all on this thing when we brought this in for a test, little test fire. It was a little worse for wear OBS. We just pulled this 1,000 pounds of bumper off the front. Gonna save it for a project, but little hood damage, little cowl damage here and there, a little rust, and a raggedy ass flatbed, but only has 164,000 on her. So we're gonna rob this one, and this is gonna be our donor truck, which it really looks like that's all it needs. Looks like a lot of it needs to be donated. But this is what we're after right here. We're gonna pull the bed off, get a look at it, and start prepping to pull the cab and see if that 57 cab will go on this old rascal. So like I said earlier, I'm gonna try and put the video from when we pulled this in, if I can find it. It's been a minute. And we're gonna put that in the mix and show y'all when that came here. But it was running off of it had bad fuel in the tank, so we put a jug under it, ran a suction and return line out of it, and fired the old girl up. She hadn't run in a while, so she was not in a good mood. And to kind of refresh y'all's memory, about 9 months ago I did a teaser, and I apologize for that. I hate teasers, especially when I know it's going to be quite a while before we get to it. But this old girl we picked up in Texas, and this is a 1957 F600. Used to be a water well truck. Bought it off of a guy whose grandpa used to run this truck, and we're gonna see what we can do with it with the 96 OBS frame. So probably I may tie in some clips from the other video, but I'll give you a little look if the walls don't get me. So this is where we're starting. Of course, we're going to need some glass and whatnot, but So we got a good dash and all that. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do on the interior. You know, this fuel tank will go and this and that, and we'll get some bucket seats or something in here. Let's see if I can get the hood open on this thing. Alright, so we got the hood open on this old girl. We're not going to keep any of this. I'll probably list it if anybody on the fridge channels or fridge pages on Marketplace want it. But, you know, old school generator down there. Motor's locked up. They tried, excuse me. They tried to put some chemicals in it and free it up. It didn't want to free up, but that's not the direction I want to go anyway. So our goal is to pull this cab off and see if we can't get this thing to squeeze around a 7.3. So that's kind of where we're heading with it. And if y'all don't understand fridge, these things were nicknamed refrigerators because they kind of look like an appliance from the 50s. Oh, something's got my allergies going. So anyway, we're gonna try and sand this all down. We got a little floor repair work to do right there. And again, I'm not sure if we're gonna keep the old look on the interior or paint it. Picked up a couple of options for fenders. This one's diamond plate aluminum, some stainless. Not sure which way we're going on that. We're not going to keep any of the frame. You know, we got old springs, drum brakes, Bud wheels, Widowmaker split rim tires. I think we're going to mainly be after the cab on this one. But that's what we're working on. So today we got that bumper off. Let me walk back to the shop. And we're getting ready to pull the bed off. And all right, so back to this. We're gonna we're prepping this bed to pull off. Tristan's getting these cool Mack truck mud flaps off that we're gonna try and recycle. And thanks to the previous owner or whatever, they welded the damn bed on, so we're gonna have to unweld it. So go get on it from there. All right, we are back on this truck. We just got the other one off. We're just checking this out. Looks like it may possibly need a touch of pressure washing, but we're just trying to get a good handle on what's going on. Looks like our bump stops are about bumped out on both sides. We're gonna clean this up. The cab we're not really worried about. We're not saving it except for parts. So we got Tristan over here working on draining coolant and disconnecting electrical lines and whatnot. I'm not going to talk y'all through pulling the cab on the OBS because we're in the process of making a list. Some of this stuff is different. There's a lot of the same stuff and different locations on our list, so we're kind of modifying it as we go. When we get a decent usable OBS cab pulling list, I'll put it up on the channel. But anyhow, we're just trying to split the cab as if we were, you know, like we normally do. And then once the motor's out and all of this engine bay is open, we'll proceed to getting all of the engine harness out, and then dash harness and all that, which all is going to have to be incorporated into the 57. So not a lot to see here, just tweaking and pulling. So we'll come back to you when we're ready to pull the cab. Now we got one of them low riders that.
Oh, that's slam right there.
Yeah, that's slam. We almost ready for Zima. I don't know about SEMA, but we ready for Noxzema.
Gosh darn. Oh, it's locked.
Guys, this is an example of you must be smarter than the tool you're working with. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
I gotta check my mirrors.
That's the Catahoula lean right there, boy. That's called using the force.
Oh yeah, I could just fall out this sucker, no problem.
Man, we need a go-kart motor. All right, ladies and gents, this is the, I don't even know if we got a name for this truck. It's the OBS because it's the only OBS, so.
What you gonna write on the tombstone?
I don't know. All right, first thing in the morning, and we are dealing with a mess on the floor. All of this came out of, excuse all the mess, all of that dirt and grime and crud came off of this old girl, and we got her all undressed for the prom and ready to go. We're gonna rob some more off of this later, but this morning's project that I am psyched and pumped about is pressure washing. I usually don't get psyched and pumped about pressure washing, but today is getting this thing cleaned up, as well as getting the shop kind of back in order, and that way we can, and I don't know if y'all can see, hiding right up in there to the left of those doors is the 57. So we got to get this all pressure washed up, cleaned up and ready for action. That way we can work on it, see what we got, make some decisions and whatnot. We got gravel and all kind of stuff in here. This was definitely a farm rig at one point. So we're gonna break out the pressure washer. We'll get this old girl cleaned up and a little straight. Then we're gonna, while she's drying, we can work on cleaning the shop and possibly getting that 57 in here today or tomorrow. Start undoing the cab and getting ready for a lift. I got a little project to do tomorrow morning that may require a lift, but we'll see. And then it's going to be to see if we can fit stuff on here. I'm kind of hoping that the fact that this one is a turbo with no intercooler will give us a little bit more cab space, but I have no clue. This is the first time we've ever tried putting in, I keep pointing over there, I don't know if y'all can see that far through the trees, but putting an old cab on a newer style truck. So we're gonna have a lot of head scratching and figuring and probably removing and refiguring, so we're gonna get into it. Let me set up the pressure washer and we'll get this old girl cleaned up. Well, hot damn, the 57 has made it into the shop. So y'all seen bits and pieces of this old girl, and it's time for her to get naked. So to our amaze and surprise, the damn 6 body mount bolts came out with hardly any fight at all compared to these. I guess it's because in 57 they didn't have Gorilla Loctite. But we got all the hardware out and we cut some lines. We were just kind of, we got our share of Wassesses in here. All right, that's it for him. Hope I didn't spray y'all. Sorry about that flipping flopping. All right, we had some front body mounts with springs, some rear body mounts like normal, and some middle body mounts with not a whole lot of cushion. But they are out, and we just up and decided it's going so fast we forgot we weren't filming. So we put the short arms on the lift and we're gonna set it up. We cut a bunch of brake lines, vacuum lines, ground lines, whatever, and we're gonna see if this old girl wants to come up. So we're about to test the tensile strength or whatever we forgot. Alright guys, we got the carburetor linkage done. We still couldn't figure out how in the world to get this damn steering column off. So we applied a little cutting wheel to it and chopped the damn thing off. I hated to do it, but we've got more than time than I wanted to put into trying to separate that from the gearbox. Probably when we get the cab up, it'll just fall apart like nothing, but it wasn't having it. So I think we got all the bolts off of it and maybe 1 or 2 miscellaneous whatnot, but we're gonna see if she'll get off the frame here.
No, we're not gonna have any hooked up linkages to the clutch or anything like that.
And the clutch goes to that master cylinder and we cut the tube out.
Okay. Brake line, no, that's all.
The mechanical shift for the PTO was disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
The cable is cut.
Past the brake.
Huh?
The e-brake.
Do what?
You gotta get high enough to pass the e-brake.
Yeah, well, we might just get high enough to see how to undo the e-brake, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we still got to get, yeah, we still got to get up, you know, where the motor will roll out from under the back, so I think we'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's watch this right here. I'm going to be over there. You can watch this and he'll be running around. This is, I put a 4x4 in both of them because this is looking weak, you know, and because this one's cut, you know.
Yeah, a little vertical.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
T, I'm just going to bump it in little increments and we're just going to check it out till we can do 1 foot increments, okay?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, everybody ready? Watch your steering thing through the floor. That's probably going to be the first thing to...
Yeah, it'll pop out and fall.
All right, here we go, going up.
It's kind of ripping that boot.
Look good? We did it?
All right.
So far so good. We got that boot coming out. Yep. It'll slide out. We got plenty of room.
Okay, y'all want to go up some more? All right, going up 6.
Alright, I'm looking all good on here, man.
The little flat bar will move itself.
Yeah,
It ain't
I'm gonna
moving.
slide it up far, but it looks like
Okay, the park brake?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to save that so we don't want to forget that. All right, ready? Oh, something did a little poof of dust
yeah,
up there.
put dust off the steering column.
Okay.
That's just
That little boot turn loose?
Yeah.
All right.
Tristan, you good? Looking good?
Going up.
What up?
Do we need to fiddle with it to get it through the hole?
I got a cable. I got a cable going to the thing.
To the PTO?
Looks like it did.
Is this it?
Yeah, well, no, one stretched. Tight.
Oh, that's the speedometer cable. All right, let me get my big parrot nose cutter.
Everything else looking good. And the cab portion is gonna look bad.
I don't know where did the parrot nose stay in the.
Oh, right here. Parrot nose right here.
Yeah, just cut it somewhere and just leave a little nub on it. It may be hard to cut because it's old mechanical. It's gonna have a spinny inner cable. And any way you can get it, see. All right. Thank you, sir. All right, are we ready to go back up?
I'm looking good on mine. How we balance, y'all? Do we need to close the hood or anything? We got the.
Good.
Ain't nothing to it.
I mean, we still gotta adjust this thing, so it got a little lean to the other side. We good?
Yeah, you're in the clear.
All right, going up.
Yep, I'm clear.
No need to go no higher than that.
Nope. Everything else come out of there now.
So all we gotta do is roll this out, roll the 96 in, set it down, and we finish.
And it's put a key switch.
Designed to do this longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, put a key switch.
When the motor's locked up and half the stuff's disconnected, it goes pretty fast.
Drop a fresh one on there.
All right. Well, if we not touching nothing, and we got enough room to
We're not touching
go out
that.
the back, then let's get this thing out of here.
Where you want to put it at? Do you want to move the Toyota, put it there where you can kind of cut stuff off of it?
I don't think I have nothing to cut off of it right now. You know.
Like your cab bolts and cab mounts?
Ain't a whole lot to it.
You gotta buzz these and those off.
I'll just ride it on out.
I mean,
You got a pair of vice grips?
vice grips. Eventually, yeah.
It's a clean, straight shot to the bone jar. Hold them on out. Yeah, he knows that truck going through. He likes to cut them off. Rush hour traffic.
It scares the shit out of me doing that. Like I can see pretty well in my car. It's not too bad. You have those like it's kind of hard to tell where you're fucking off with that. Or if I'm driving that hard.
So bad if you wouldn't get right the fucking front. Dun dun dun. Come here, Bo. Come over here. If the front wheels go over the hump, we're gonna be way too far. Okay, so we're gonna either need to be on the hump or
The other truck
take the
was
front
bumping.
wheels off. I don't know.
The other truck was bumping the hump.
Alright. Yeah, I forgot about that. We're not like we usually are because it's a single cab.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
It's gonna be interesting, huh?
That is a long box.
That's that little box towards the top.
Do we need to put it on the skates or?
Yeah, we can get the jack.
Well, no, but we got Tom's skates over there. We can put it on there and you can move
Yeah, I can.
front, back, left, right, whatever. Man, shit. That's fine.
Alright.
Slide is over.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to have some custom.
I don't know if it'll come out in the shadows, guys, but this is the inner fender from the passenger side, and just a whole lot of impacting and heating and beating and cutting and whatever. But we got this inner fender out. We're going after the other one, and of course we're going to pull the trans tunnel, and we're just trying to get started on the fitment of everything. And I don't want to sit there and waste y'all's time with just hammering on a bunch of little 1/2-inch bolts. But we're gonna get up here, and we got another 7 or 8 bolts to get this inner fender out, and then that trans tunnel, we had to clean that firewall up. But we're just playing around to see how bad it's gonna be and what we're in for. All right, guys, we got the inner fenders out. Everybody's covered in rust and crap. We got the tunnel out for the transmission, so we're gonna let it down and eyeball it a little bit. Y'all watch. All right, watch y'all language. We live. That was mainly meant for me. Okay. Coming up, I'm gonna pull the cables. So let's just kind of go down and see what we're looking at.
Watching the movies a little bit.
He scared the crap out of that chick. Hey, watch your front arms on the.
You way offset right here.
Yeah, we're going back to it.
We'll shift it around. Are we gonna hit anything with the front arms, like the?
Almost to the car. Hang on. I got to twist the frame. I'm way off.
Okay, Key, we just have to come down until we get close to that frame. I think we're gonna hit in the back.
Yeah, that's what you got right there.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna bring y'all and show y'all what we're looking at. Let me get the GoPro unhooked here. So the tires are looking almost dead center in the wheel well, but it's like, I don't know if the motor almost needs to come forward, but we don't want to come too far forward because, watch out, Bo. We may, we're gonna need that room for the radiators and the coolers. So we're gonna have to cut it in the back. And we're gonna have to cut a good bit. Not too sure.
Oh, no, bro.
Not too sure. We centered, but I mean,
Yeah, it's tight.
unless we just leave it this high with some Army 44s on it. Everybody's all burned out and covered in rust. Yep, I think we're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have us sitting a little high anyway, which is not upsetting me at all. But I think we definitely gonna have to dive into that firewall. So what we're gonna have to do is figure out, probably pull this heater core box out and just start working on firewall stuff until we see. You want to see how much firewall? Come look at this. The turbo's in the cab. All right, well, we're gonna do a little head scratching and come back to y'all in a little while. We about had enough of today. But anyway, we got progress made. We just baby steps. We got 3 steps done, 7,294 steps left. How about you gonna make your camera appearance? Huh?
He's shy.
This is our shop dog.
I'm too shy.
He's interior security, where the other 2 girls are exterior security.
Oh, he's everywhere. He's a...
This is Mr. D. We ain't figured out his position yet. Vagrancy, something like that. I don't know. It fluctuates. All right, guys. We're gonna come back in a minute and figure out what's what. Okay, guys. I wanted to show y'all, and again, don't take this as a how-to. We're figuring this out as we go. But if we go from right here, assuming that we may widen this up to sit on this frame, we are gonna need to come up about a foot, or come down a foot rather, right here. And if we don't, about 9 inches if we let this stay up. And I don't know, you know, we're gonna have to judge that by wheel well size, how high this is, but I think we're gonna shoot for coming down that 12. And so what we need to do is, let me see if I can set y'all up where you can see this, and maybe right here if this thing doesn't fall. And of course it fell. All right, let's see. Let me see if I can get y'all up here. Sorry about the crash. I don't know if that's gonna come out, but so we know we got to go down, let's call it 12 inches in the front to seat around that frame. So we need to come down 12, and my finger's on 12, so we're gonna cut right underneath this wiper motor, and then we're gonna mark basically from these bolts down and over here probably where this vacuum thing is down, and that's gonna be some of our cutting. So we're just gonna kind of mark all that out, and that will give us about as high as I would like to go, because I don't know if we're gonna need to use the factory wiper, or if we're gonna have to change that. And if we change it to what and where we're gonna put it. So we're gonna try and cut that just below the wiper motor, salvage all of that so we don't damage that. The 2 pipe nipples you see sticking out is for the heater box that you saw inside the cab a little while ago, which should be those 2 bolts. So we'll we'll cut the hoses off the rest of the way of the nipples, undo those 2 bolts, and that should pop out into the cab, allow us to, you know, make a rounded cut right there. And then same thing over here. We have the hole where the other steering came through the floor right there. I don't think we're gonna go wide enough to take all of that out. Just for structure, we'll go as wide as we need to, and we'll just cover that. Have to make an accelerator pedal, you know, flat area where we can bolt that pedal. And we'll have to take out this little swing arm for the accelerator, that little vacuum fitting, the two master cylinders for the brakes and clutch. And basically we're just going to clean all this up because we're not going to use any of this wiring. I think if we do AC, we'll end up with a heater function in there too, if I'm not mistaken. I may be mistaken, but we won't need the heater box. So there we go. And that will allow us to possibly have enough room right up in this area for a radiator and all that. And this 96 doesn't have an intercooler, so it's not gonna, you know, that'll give us a little bit more room in this area here. And we do have the old radiator. Let me show you all that. We got lucky, and when we were picking up the truck, and I know this is probably not reusable, but at least we have the old factory radiator, which may not even be big enough capacity wise, but even if we have to do a thicker core, we do have the upper tanks, and we can get a three core radiator and put it in there. So we at least have the measurements we need if we got to have one made. And if the Ford ones wouldn't work, I'd almost rather go back with the old school one, because all these plastic cap radiators or plastic tank radiators seem to always have cracks in them. So anyway, that's where we're at now. I'm gonna get up under here and mark a few things like we talked about, and I'll show you my marks, and then we're gonna lift this cab up, slide the chassis out where I can get up under the hood here from the bottom, and see if we can make a hole and start getting this thing settled down and see what else we need to do. Alright guys, it's a little dark under here, but I think y'all can see it. So we got our master cylinders out for the clutch and all that, got our steering stuff out, accelerator pedal, heater core right here. So I kind of straight edged off the valve cover, came up with this outer line, and I think what I'm going to do is move in a little bit and cut this inner line. I've got a slope right here that would be nice to tie the doghouse into, and I'd rather cut a little bit too little and have to come back and cut some more. And then right here we're going to try and leave this pinch weld and just cut this sheet metal off this way. I don't know if that's gonna work or not, but we'll try that first and see what's what. But we got the firewall all cleaned up. Big pile of unnecessary junk on the ground over there. This direction we've got running light wires cut. We're not going to reuse any of this wiring, so we'll be rewiring all of that later and possibly reconfiguring something to do with the radiator. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'm gonna put y'all back on time lapse. We're gonna cut this out with the cutoff wheel and see what we get. All right, back on this 57 this morning. I'm looking at the wheel wells, and we are a little far back from our mark right there. We kind of measured. You can see a little soapstone mark there and there and found center. And although that doesn't look too bad, I think if we roll it that extra little inch or so and plumb bob it, we'll be good there. I did a little, took a straight edge and a tape measure, and I lined up this vertical and that vertical, so we're pretty well centered. We'll have to get it in that's ass when we go to moving the, going to put it back on to install the, or to build the motor mounts. And what I did here is I just took a straight edge and marked with a Sharpie where the frame sits on both sides. And what we're going to do is I'm going to pick this up, and we'll probably move this line over a ½ inch for clearance, and then we'll see if we can't make this, replicate this radius right here and widen that up where this will sit down and get up in here, maybe ½ inch, ¾ inch off of the frame. I think that'll drop us down a good bit. And once we get this front sitting on little wood blocks or whatever, then we can lower the back down and get the rake we want and get a measurement. So what I'm after right now, we got a little drop down, a little positive rake in the back, I guess you could see. I don't know if it's going to show up. So we're going to drop the front down, say 4 inches, and then we'll find a happy medium where this back looks good, and we'll block everything in, and that'll be what we after. Again, we're trying to get clearance for a little bit more clearance for the turbo and all that in here. Rolling that frame to the front a little bit more to line that front tire up and center the wheel well will give us a little bit more turbo room. And our stick shift right here, dropping it down even 2 more inches will give us more floor clearance. So that's what we after. I'm getting ready to roll this old girl forward, put her back on the lift on our new pads we built, and pick her up and that way we can work on cutting these notches out. Get him sitting down on some wood blocks with the front at right height, and then we'll eyeball it again. All right, let's test out our new stuff. We've still got blocks under here. Make sure we're sitting where we need to be. We don't want anything to come off and go nowhere. All right, let's get her up. For the latches so we can come down, and we're gonna back out of here. So we're going to redraw our little marks here and see if we can't find us something that'll help us with the radius. Alright guys, I'm going to see if I can show y'all. Again, we want to recreate this radius, so this is where our cut's going to be. Our frame lineup mark, we extended it out of the cut, and we're going to bring this top over like this. We don't want a 90 degree because it'll be prone to crack, and we want it to look like this radius here. So I had to go into my snap-on radius tools and get a paint spray cap, and that fits this radius perfect on either side. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this right touching and draw a line. And there's our radius. Do the same thing over here, and this girl is ready to cut. And you got a lot of stuff you can use for radius in these things. Anything round will give you a good little fit. Sockets, spray paint cans, spray paint bottles, or the whole spray paint can. I also have like seal installers. You know, anything that has multiple pieces with radiuses on it you can use, but I find in a lot of times the simplest stuff gives you the best results. So this is all ready to be cut out. All right, well, we are almost down on these little 3/4 pads, and I'm kind of digging what I'm seeing here. Turbo's not hitting. We still may go up. We may double these and go up a little bit. Now, I don't know if this is going to show on camera, and to be honest with you, like a lot of this stuff I like to eyeball rather than put a level on it and get all crazy. But to me, our cab is a little flat, and I think I want to go up a little bit. So before we came down, knowing we were going to come down lower, I took these 6x out, and I've got maybe half an inch there. I've got maybe half an inch right here, but I think what I'm going to do is see if I can find a couple of 2x4s. That'll be 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches, and give our cab a little lift. It's kind of sitting a little off. The lift has got it a little, the lift needs a little tweak and adjustment, but let's get some 2x4s and put them under the back, and then we'll see what the front looks like. Now on the hood, we put a stick up there. The hood opens good, but I oiled them just while I was spraying penetrating lube on everything, and I think it went a little too much, so we don't want it to fall and mash on anybody. All right, now the lighting is all goofy in here because of the weather, but that is kind of what we're looking at, and I think we're getting pretty close. Again, on the wheel right here, I'm kind of digging it. We may or may not move it, but we'll play with that a little bit. That's kind of looking really good, actually. And then we come around to the front. I know y'all, the shadow in the sky is gonna, exposure is gonna be all off, but kind of digging what I'm seeing. We got room for a bigger tire if we need to, but we can't go too big. If we keep it as a dually, we're gonna run into, we get too big of a tire, we're gonna run into problems with the dualies hitting together, and then we'd have to run spacers, and I don't want to run spacers. And to be honest with you, having this, just it's more centered between the bottoms of the wheel well than the center. But I think we're going to go that route. That way, if we decide to put a bigger tire, we're not getting too close to the front. Not sure, guys. I'm just, you know, kind of do a little bit, take a look at it, see what you're happy with, and do a little bit more. I'm real happy with how this guy's coming out, but we'll jump down that thing another day. That's our 6.0 swap truck that we put a 7.3 in. So I'm kind of digging this so far. Let's see what our clearance looks like in the cab, if that made us any more problems. Yeah, well, we're gonna move the pedals anyway. The brake pedal is gonna go right into that head. We're still gonna have to trim some of this right in here to get off of this pipe. And so we got a little bit more work to do in here. We're gonna have a narrow footprint on this side, and I think what we're gonna do, we'll take that pedal assembly out and probably, I don't know if we're gonna reuse that one or use the one out of the OBS. Probably the OBS one, because the way this truck is, you sit more to the center, and that's gonna get into the, like I said, the brakes are going to be an issue, and I don't have any place to put the accelerator either, so that's going to be another thing to have to contend with. But anyway, I'm gonna grab some lunch and sit down where I can keep an eye on this thing and see what it looking like. All right, guys, well, y'all can see it's getting a little dark in the shop tonight. We got the truck on the lift, and I'm gonna begin starting to figure out how we're gonna bring our cab mounts up. As you can see, we got a pretty good little gap and some little fabricating to do. So I got some ideas on that, but I think this video is getting a little long. So since we got the cab positioned right, we got her on the lift where we can get under there and do some measurements. I think I'm gonna cut this video off right here, and we'll pick up next time when we start fabricating these cab mounts and getting this cab stuck on there where she can't move. And I think that'll be our good move. So that's it for now. Again, I hope you guys enjoy this. We're getting pumped about this old 57, and we're gonna make it happen, but it's gonna be bit by bit, so you got to be patient with us. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you got any comments or questions, hit us up. And other than that, we'll see y'all on the next one.